Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Today's story is a masterclass in weaponized compliance, and it starts with one consultant, one tiny invoice, and 108 separate approvals. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. All consultant hours must be approved via our matrix management. I work as a consultant for safety stuff. The exact work isn't too important to the story, but what is important is that I'm not an employee of Big Corp. They hire me as a consultant to the yearly update of their safety system and emergency plans. Normally, someone hires a consultant, they do their thing, and send the bill. That gets paid just like a bill for, say, delivering a stack of bricks. Big Corp, however, decided to implement some new business speak buzzwords, and any externals, read me, who get hired need to get their hours approved in their matrix management structure. Now, for the majority of you who haven't graduated in buzzwordology, matrix management means that each project has a manager and each function has a manager. So if you spend an hour sweeping up the park, your two bosses are the function manager of sweeping and the project manager of parks. Of course, not being an employee of Big Corp, nobody had told me this. My bill got rejected, and that meant I had to angry call their administration and try desperately to explain that I didn't do any project work, that this probably falls into whatever category they have for overhead. No deal, but they helpfully set me up with a consultant account, and I proceeded to jump through a few hoops to get paid. Naturally, that annoyed me severely, since all that time is pretty much money down the drain. So like a mature and responsible adult, I decided that if I couldn't be happy, none of them could be happy either. After spending several hours getting things set up, it's time to see who needs to approve my hours. Compliance. Well, technically, the safety plans apply to all projects, so I'd best select every single project manager. Oh, and I guess they also apply to all functions, but I should be fair since I didn't spend equal time on every function. After all, the risks to someone working in the workshop are much higher than the admin staff, so I'd best split up my hours as fair as I can. Oh, it seems that by splitting my hours among functions, I now have to select every single project for every single function. I'd best email their admin again to confirm if I should really enter a bill that needs to be approved 108 separate times. I quickly received the reply. All billable hours must be approved by all relevant management pairs. So I submit 108 separate approvals for 2 hours of actual billable work, with the email quoted in the description of each request. Thankfully, I only had to autofill the form 9 times. Result? Approximately 45 seconds after hitting submit, I get a call from Big Corp admin asking what the hell I'm doing. I reply that I simply did as they told me and that I did select every relevant function and project. Was there a better method? And if so, why didn't they tell me when I asked for it? It's been 8 weeks now and my approval is in the system showing 35 approvals, 57 pending, and 16 denied. I've just mailed my pay me now or there will be extra cost letter, and the auto reminder in their own system has just spammed 73 pairs of people again to approve my bill, please, because they can't release payment without 108 sets of people ticking the accept box. Oh wow, what a nightmare. They really left you with no other option. Hopefully they'll get someone their side to do the matrix work next year. Who approves the work/quote in the first place, FFS? Nice work. And our second story. I was forced to speak at a team meeting, so I tanked my manager's agenda. So I decided to share another story from my tech support call center days. Info. We worked with a program that was connected to our CRM that was guiding us step by step on what to ask customer and what troubleshooting steps to take. It's a really smart and good program, but it's just that, program. There were few cases where it could not help at all or provided a wrong solution, and plenty more cases where experienced agent could identify and fix the issue much faster and sometimes even without taking some steps that would severely affect the customer. The issue was that the company did not see it that way, and we were required to follow the flow exactly. Every agent had to work outside of it from time to time. Managers still didn't like it, but I was part of a group of friends that very much enjoyed the technical side of the job and was notorious for having low compliance to this rule, but we had very good results to show for it, so they mostly let us be. Now to the story. I just came to my shifts and was getting my computer ready when my manager came to me. "Hey, OP, the final results came in and you're number one in the team. On today's huddle, I'm going to call you to the front," even though I set in a survey that was done no longer than a few months prior that I like to be recognized for my numbers in private, not in a group setting, and ask you, how do you manage to get these good numbers? And I want you to help out the team and tell them it's because you follow the flow. But that's not true. You know that. I can't say that. Sure you can. They'll listen to you and it'll help our compliance. I'm not going to lie to them. Please don't call me to the front. This is where our conversation ended, and we headed to the couch area to have a 15-minute morning huddle, and 5 minutes into it, I'm being called to the front with some awkward forced clapping. Now he's indeed asking me, how did I reach such a good number, with his slimy eyes looking at me and his bald head nodding like he was assuring me, you can become this sleazy office rat like I did. Well, I was super mad at this point as he was forcing me in a really uncomfortable situation and thought in my head, do you want to know how I got these numbers? Sure. Well, it would definitely had to be the fact that I learned to cooperate with our awesome program and use it as my guide during the calls while keeping in mind it's just a program and keeping an eye open for a better solution for the customer than the program can provide. This way, I was able to significantly reduce my technician dispatch rate and my average handling time, since I can often find solutions sooner. I wanted to keep talking, but after this sentence, he kinda roughly interrupted me and thanked me while trying to somehow turn what I said in his favor, but I can't honestly remember the rest of what was told. I loathe public speaking and am a shy person, and just this sentence in front of 15 people made me sweat as hell. I just remember a few guys holding back laughter. The manager came to me right after the huddle, was disappointed that I betrayed his trust, and what do I have to say for the reason I did it? And I just replied with, I warned you beforehand, and quickly took an incoming call just so he could not talk to me. I later received a few messages from him, how he's disappointed and how he thought I wanted to also be a manager one day. But at that stage in the company, I knew it's not going to be my long-term career, so whatever. Awesome. I wonder why he would even want them to follow the program meticulously. It'd probably just worsen their productivity. It's sad that he disrespected your wish for privacy and wanted you to violate your morals and lie to your coworkers. Good thing it backlashed. And our last story. Karen's parking lot meltdown earned her a police report. It was a typical early Friday morning, and I needed to run a quick errand before work. I decided to swing by the Harris Teeter near my office, a place I'd been to countless times. The area, as always, was a bit ritzy with polished buildings and well-dressed people. The parking lot was nearly empty when I pulled in, save for one car, a glitzy Land Rover. As I parked a row away from it, I couldn't help but notice the woman unloading her cart. She looked like she'd just stepped out of a fashion magazine. Velour tracksuit, leather handbag, flawless tan skin, and a high ponytail so blonde it practically glowed under the fluorescent lights. I'm not sure how old she was, somewhere between 35 and 65 depending on the lighting. You know the type. As I got out of my car, my attention was drawn to her. She casually flung her shopping cart into the parking lot, and as luck would have it, there was a cart corral just a few spaces away. I could feel my blood pressure rising. My sense of justice was hot that morning, so without thinking, I turned to her and said loudly, "Wow, that's pathetic. How lazy can one person be?" To my surprise, shame worked its magic. She actually retrieved the cart and returned it to the corral. I kept walking toward the store, feeling pretty good about myself, but just as I was about to step onto the curb, I heard footsteps, and I knew exactly who it was. "Who the F do you think you are?" she yelled from behind me. "You effing bee, you don't tell me what to do." I did what I do best, ignored her, and kept walking. But of course, this was far from over. She followed me into the store, continuing to yell and draw attention from everyone in the vicinity. I walked into the produce section, basket in hand, trying to keep my cool, but it was hard not to notice the scene she was making. She wasn't just yelling anymore, she was shouting, spitting, and generally acting like she was about to take me down. Out of nowhere, she grabbed my shoulder, turned me around. With a finger in my face, she screamed, "You will not ignore me!" I was honestly a little shaken, but tried to remain composed. I took a step back and glanced around. The whole scene was getting more ridiculous by the second. Then she grabbed my basket from my hand and threw it to the ground. It hit my foot and bounced away, but I wasn't about to let this slide. Fortunately, an employee in the section saw the entire thing and rushed over. He tried to intervene and asked her what the hell her problem was, but Karen wasn't having any of it. She kept ranting about disrespect, her husband, and how I clearly had no idea who she was. I don't know what she expected. Maybe she thought yelling would make me fold, or maybe she thought I'd back down. I saw an opening. She was distracted enough that I pulled out my phone and called 911. The employee was still trying to calm Karen down, and I made sure to explain the situation to the dispatcher. The store manager, who had now come over, ushered me away from Karen while I was on the phone. "She touched me," I said to the manager. "She grabbed the basket and threw it at my feet. It hit me. I'm not injured, but I want this on record." At this point, Karen had disappeared, probably fled to lick her wounds, but the police still came. They took my statement, and I made sure to emphasize the physical contact and her aggressive behavior. They gave me an incident report summary and asked if I wanted to pursue criminal charges. Of course I said yes. She needed to learn there were consequences for acting like that. I left shortly after the police arrived because, well, I was already running late for work. I never did get that cantaloupe. But here's the thing, I didn't need it. The true fruit of the story was seeing Karen get a taste of her own medicine. No, she wouldn't end up behind bars, but maybe, just maybe, she'd think twice before harassing someone over a simple comment in a parking lot. That small act of speaking up turned into something far more significant, and for once, I wasn't the one backing down. Some live with triggered anger issues and have no control over themselves. Even if she'd been injured, she had no right to escalate the issue that was already settled outside. Some people also were taught to behave this way from when they were children. They never grow up. So sorry you got attacked in such a manner? Some people like that need to be locked up for a few days to learn that's not how adults act in this world. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.